Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Virtual Speak Out. I would like to start by thanking you all for giving us your time and standing up for survivors. Unfortunately, due to COVID-19, we were unable to hold our annual Take Back the Night March and Speak Out, so we will be holding the event virtually again this year. This evening would not be possible without the anonymous survivor stories submitted by you. My name is Chloe DePaula, and this is my second year as the graduate assistant for the Haven Project. For those of you who don't know, the Haven Project is a department on IUP's campus that provides education about salient topics such as sexual assault, domestic and dating violence, consent, stalking, healthy relationships, and bystander intervention. Take Back the Night is all about overcoming fear, the fear of the unknown, the fear of isolation, the fear of pain, the fear of silence. Assault, sexual assault, rape, and intimate partner violence are not just women's issues. The fear caused by these traumatic events affect all of us. As a society, we all bear the consequences. However, as a society, we all have the power to fight back and end the silence surrounding power-based violence. Together, we are a strong, unstoppable force fighting for awareness and providing endless support. This night is for us, for our friends, our loved ones, and ourselves. It's on us to stop the violence once and for all. Tonight we say, "Me too," so let's do something about it. We will no longer hide in silence. We will no longer be victims because we are survivors. Strong, resilient survivors who need to be heard. Every victim and survivor story will be read by members of the Haven Project. These stories are real and were not created for this event. These are not the Haven Project stories, so please keep that in mind while you are listening. We will end the virtual speak out with resources and support. This event is to continue to show our support for survivors by sharing their stories, their struggles, but more importantly, how they have overcome and how they are no longer surviving, but thriving because there is hope. There is empowerment, there is triumph. We hear your stories, we believe you, and most of all, we support you.
Hello, my name is Leo Buck, and I have been the intern with the Haven Project for the spring 2021 semester. In a moment, we will begin reading the anonymous survivor stories submitted to the Haven Project. Please be aware that these stories may understandably be triggering, explicit, and upsetting. If you need to talk with anyone or report anything, please know that you can contact the IUP Counseling Center at 724-357-2621. We will end this virtual speak out with additional resources available. Here, we encourage survivors to submit their stories so they can be told in a safe space, virtually to allies, peers, faculty, and staff who are here to support you. Please know that the IUP Haven Project is here for you. We hear you, we believe you, and we support you.
Hi, I'm Jenn McCormack, the Sexual Violence Prevention Educator for the IUP Haven Project, and I'm reading this anonymous story. I was 17 at the time, and my friend's date was throwing a homecoming after party. We went there and met his friends that were a bit older than us, and they had alcohol there. I decided that night to have a few drinks, get a little drunk, and enjoy my time with friends. One of the guys there saw that I was pretty intoxicated and came up to me and started flirting with me. I wasn't bothered or uncomfortable in that moment, but shortly after, he drugged me by the hand behind the shed to where I wasn't visible to any of my friends. He started kissing me and touching me, and I told him I didn't want to have sex with him. After about 10 times of saying no, he insisted that it felt like I wanted to and kept touching me more. I started crying as he held my head down into a patch of thorns that were on the ground, and he proceeded to rape me. I was crying and scared, and he kept grabbing my face and telling me to look at him. Completely out of sight from everyone, I was terrified. He finished and left me laying there crying and went inside. I stayed there for about 15 minutes, just crying, and I got up and went to my friends, and we all went to bed. I did not tell them what just happened because I was scared. When we woke up the next day, the guy who raped me was telling everyone we hooked up, and everyone was making jokes because there were still thorns in my hair. I accepted that maybe that wasn't rape, and it was just because I was drunk and how I let him take me behind the shed. I dealt with the self-blame for months until one day I finally told my best friend what happened. She was very supportive and we cried together and talked, and she reassured me that it wasn't my fault, and it was, in fact, rape. It broke me for a long time, but once I started sharing my story and hearing thousands of other women who went through similar experiences, I started to do a lot of healing from it. It has been a little over a year, and I'm actively working through the anxiety and depression that caused me, but it has gotten better. I'm so happy to have a great support system behind my back for the events that did take place.
It took me until I was 20 years old to realize I had even experienced sexual assault, though it had been happening to me since I was 17. It took me a long time to open up to anyone about it, and I'm still scared to go to therapy about it. The first assault I experienced was when I was 17, and I lost my virginity. I had my first ever serious boyfriend, and we were drinking at a friend's house. I didn't want to have sex, but I didn't know how to communicate that. A drunk yes is not consent, as I learned much later. A few years later, I was assaulted by an ex-best friend's boyfriend at a party. His best friend said to me, "You didn't say no." I was assaulted again a few months later, the summer before my freshman year of college. It was an ex-coworker. I felt humiliated, so much that I walked a mile back to my friend's house because I was too embarrassed to ask him to pick me up. The last time I was sexually assaulted, it was a mutual friend, someone everyone referred to as a really nice guy. What still sticks in my head is that though I was drunk, none of my friends spoke up and said, "Don't go with him, stay here." I don't blame my friends for this, but in hindsight, I still wish someone had said something.
Hi, I'm Drew from the Haven Project, and I am reading an anonymous story. The first time it happened, I was about 8 and he was 12. We were childhood friends, and we decided to play hide and seek with our siblings. We hid in our family's camper, and he convinced me to let him rub his genitals on me. I didn't tell my mom until I was maybe 12 or 13. The second time was in high school with someone I thought I was in love with. Turns out he had been dating someone for a few years and was just using me. I continued to let him do this until I graduated. It left me with anxiety and aversion to sexual touch. That was when I was 12. I'm now in my 20s and I've never been intimate with somebody since.
Hello, my name is Kaylee from the Haven Project, and I will be reading an anonymous story. Hello, I never thought this could happen to someone like me. I took every precaution like my mother had taught me to do since I was young and had developed. I had pepper spray and I knew to always keep an eye out behind me. Not trusting others, I didn't think it would happen in broad daylight, in my car, in a parking lot, or behind a dumpster, but my virginity was stripped away. I didn't know him, he didn't know me. I was young and I just wanted to experience what it meant to be in love. I thought I could be like my friends and meet someone on an app and never would. I will never be the same ever again. He took my purity and my trust, with each trust, my ability to trust again, to love, touch, or be touched again. I can't sleep without the thought of his hands on my thighs, his grip pulling my hair and causing this everlasting pain.
Hi, I'm Jessica Pulley from the Haven Project, and I'll be reading this anonymous story. When I was 16, I was groomed by a teacher at my high school. I was made to believe that it was a relationship, that it was what love was supposed to feel like. This person took advantage of me when I was in a dark place, navigating the uncertainties of adolescence. Months went by before it ended. It took me until my sophomore year of college to realize what happened to me when I received messages from concerned friends about other girls at my school having gone through something similar with this person. "Did this happen to you?" they asked. I said no because I was too scared. I didn't reject his advances. I didn't say no. For years, I felt like it was my fault, like I was just as guilty of having done something wrong. This is not true. I was manipulated, taken advantage of, and that is not, nor will it ever be, my fault. I am sharing my story because of the gross portrayals of statutory rape in the media, glorifying older men preying on young, impressionable women. Today, I decided to speak up. Thank you for listening to my story.
Hi, I'm Nash from the Haven Project, and I'm reading this anonymous story. As a sophomore in college, I was raped by someone I trusted. I won't go into the details, but I want survivors to know that they are not alone. I struggled for a long time. I went to counseling sessions all the time. I can't tell you when it got better, but it does. Trust me. Please don't give up if you are in this situation. Please reach out for help. What happened is a part of my past, but it does not define who I am. I chose to forgive, not for him, but for me. Forgiveness is not for the other person, but for yourself. I could not hold on to the anger anymore. It was not going to hold me back from what I wanted to accomplish in life. No matter what your past is, each of us deserve to be happy. There is life after sexual assault.
Hi, I'm Leo from the Haven Project, and I'm reading this anonymous story. My boyfriend and I had been drinking heavily all night, and then we went to bed. Needless to say, I was in a deep, drunken sleep because of how much I drank and it being so late. I woke up that night to my boyfriend having sex with me. I asked him, "What are you doing?" I loved this person, and in my mind, sex is supposed to be consensual and intimate with both partners participating. How could he do this to me?
Hi, I'm Chloe from the Haven Project, and I'm reading this anonymous story. I've been attending Take Back the Night for the last 8 years and always think about speaking out. I figured since this is a virtual speak out, this is my ideal time to tell my story. When I was 16, I was raped at my best friend's house in her basement while she was upstairs with her mom. Another friend was sleeping on the couch beside where it happened. I was drunk and high and didn't say no. So for the longest time, I didn't see myself as a victim. After that, I turned to some really high risk behaviors and put myself in situations where at least I felt I had the control to say yes. I obviously did not. It was like I was replaying the rape over and over, getting blackout drunk and high and saying yes to a lot of things, but at least I was saying yes. I was in no position to give consent to anyone in those days. And when I think about the men I was with, the men, adult men, who should have known better than to take advantage of a passed out 16-year-old, it makes me ill. When I was 17, I met a 24-year-old guy who quickly became the love of my life. Sarcasm is real. He quickly took control of my life and isolated me from my friends and family. When I told him about my rape, he didn't believe me, called me a slut, and told me I asked for it. He then offered his friend to have sex with me. That was the first night he choked me out with my IUP lanyard. I stayed with him for a long time. He threatened to kill me, himself, and my family if I broke up with him. I eventually did anyway. He stalked me for a while, threatened my boyfriend, left dead animals on my porch. Eventually, that all stopped as well. I never spoke out. I never called the police, but today I am a survivor. I survived and I will continue to thrive. Never give up. Use your time on this earth for good and help others.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jenn McCormack, and I am the Sexual Violence Prevention Educator for the Haven Project. On behalf of the Haven Project, I would like to thank all of you who joined us here at the Virtual Speak Out to show your support for victims and survivors. It is inspiring to know that you are here watching and showing that IUP and the surrounding area does not tolerate personal violence and hate. In conclusion, I would like to tell you about some more resources that are available on and off campus where you can go for support, information, and help. The first one is the Haven Project. The Haven Project is a department on campus that raises awareness and promotes education on topics like domestic violence, sexual violence and assault, stalking, and bystander intervention. We hold regular trainings and tabling. We also can provide trainings to organizations or groups of students alike. We are here for you, the student. The IUP Counseling Center. The Counseling Center is here to support anyone that may need assistance with a variety of issues, including sexual violence, domestic and dating violence, stalking, stress, anxiety, depression, or trauma. They also have a case management service to help you with referrals, insurance, and food and housing insecurity. All services are free and confidential. They are providing telehealth during this semester. You can contact them by emailing them counseling-center@iup.edu to set up an appointment. Green Dot. Green Dot is IUP's bystander intervention program. The Haven Project can train you or your organization on how to effectively intervene during times of potential violence. Help us to end the violence on campus. No one has to do everything, but everyone has to do something. Alice Paul House. Alice Paul House has been providing comprehensive services to victims and survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and other serious crimes, and juvenile offenders for more than 35 years. They provide services to men, women, and children, regardless of age, sex, ethnic background, or sexual orientation. These services are provided at no cost to victims and are confidential. They can be reached at 724-349-4444. There are also multiple other services on our campus. Another example would be LGBTQIA support through Muscle, and their number is 724-357-2598. In conclusion, if you have any other questions or comments on any of the resources, feel free to send us a message to haven-project@iup.edu, or you can call 724-357-3947. Thank you so much again for watching, and we hope you have a great rest of the semester.